It's Ultracity 6060.
Hello again, everyone. I've made a slight addition to the base here. It's a little bit of a mix of red power, soul shards. Oops, got a leather leak here. That's no big deal. They'll fall forever if I want. And a bit of Thaumcraft, if I didn't say that one already. But yeah, I never have to worry about food again. And I'm about to put in a second one of these. I think you can tell just by looking what it's for. And it's really simple to do. Even I was able to figure it out. I'm going to put a note block here. You'll see why in a minute. And right click it once just to set it to a different tone from default, because the other one's on default. I just want to double check here that that didn't somehow set off the cows. But major props to Elaram for, I believe it's a toggle latch from Red Power 2. Works like a T flip-flop, which you can make in vanilla Minecraft. But it usually takes a couple of pistons, or if you want it to be quieter, you can use some repeaters. But this has condensed it all into one block, which is fantastic. So I'm just going to mirror what I've got going on that side on this one. And I wish I'd brought more blocks, but just enough to block off this water, so it doesn't drive me crazy. So first things first, I'm going to put a soul cage here, which I'm not going to put anything in yet. Not until I've put some wire on this to shut it off, because the tier 5 spawners are redstone controlled. And I probably don't have this wired the most efficient way possible, but it works, and I'm not going to mess with it. And here's the toggle latch, where when a signal is fed into it, it will toggle between on or off, which is wonderful. And then this arcane ear puts out a redstone pulse every time it hears the note it's tuned to. It tunes just like a note block. So I'm just going to pick this one up, put it back down, right click it once so it matches that second note block. And that's really all the setup we need. I'll show the other one real quick here. How it toggles whenever it receives a signal. In this one, as you can see, when it's turned off, cows come out. And I've just ruined the tuning on that one. So all I have to do now is go put a soul shard in this one, but the creeper shard I'm putting in is not quite full yet, so it's time to go remedy that. So now that that's all taken care of, we're ready to put the shard in the cage. Not in the wire, in the cage. And there you can see it's got a creeper twirling around in there, so we should be ready to go downstairs, make sure it works. I do plan to put in a few more of these, but I will probably do that off camera since you've already seen how it works. Not that anyone couldn't have figured that out on their own. Make sure no one's sneaking up on us. Go ahead and see if we now have infinite gunpowder. We do indeed. It is a thing of beauty. I know some of the drops will be lost to the lava, but it really doesn't matter when you can drop as much as you want. Beautiful. I considered putting an indicator light over by the button, but it seems to be pretty obvious when the spawner is on. Now, the problem with this at the moment is everything is going through my iron sorting and into this one single chest. And that's clearly not enough storage for all of these drops, which is why I now have to take some of that red power ingenuity and put it into a sorting system so that these all have somewhere to go. A brief aside before I get started on the sorting machine. I moved the turbine, set up a electrolyzer over there. There's space for, what is it, the chemical reactor? But also, I have, just from a single very large oil well, I have enough oil and fuel to last me for quite a while now. So the creosote can go in the back burner, especially since the farms in their current state might not last much longer. They might get replaced by the new multi-block farms. So anyway, on to our sorting. I've got a little area cleared out here, and I just put an ender chest here to feed into it, so I can do that from wherever I want later. And now we're going to put a few things down here for that to feed into and hopefully sort everything. Not everything, but most things. So what I have up here in one of these, I really need to put signs. We've got a filter, and that's going to be used for a sorting machine. And I'm just going to use 3 for now. We'll see how far that takes us. If we need more, I can put more. Unless it looks like we need a lot more, in which case I might not bother. I might just find a better system. And I don't know if that's facing the right way, so let's come over here and check the one we've been using for the iron. Get in the door, man. And yellow needs to face the chest. And I can't turn it because I didn't bring a screwdriver. All manner of prepared. Alright, so I'm going to be basing this a bit off of a system I saw someone else use. That was very easy to set up. There we are. And we should be able to chain this for any number of machines, so can in theory handle any number of items if you're patient enough to put them all into the system. And I believe I've put that in the wrong spot. I'm gonna break my screwdriver before this is over. So next we need restriction tubes. These act like normal pneumatic tubes but add a virtual 5,000 blocks, I think it is, to the length of the pipe. And because red power machines like to find the shortest path, they'll avoid using those unless they have nowhere else to send things. And what this should do is the items that don't get sorted by one machine will go into the next one, be sorted there. So hopefully that works right. Between the 3 of them, I'll only be able to sort so many things though, so I can't sort everything, at least not with 3. So next I just need to power these. Probably just use a thermopile. and I'll be back when things are more set up. A zombie spawned in my Twilight portal. That is not a hot tub, sir. I'll get back to the sorting in a moment, but while I was frustrated with it, I worked on something over here for this iron collection chest. In case it gets full, I set up a gate below it and an electric engine, and that's set up so that whenever the chest is full of iron, it will send a redstone signal that triggers an electric engine and pulls a stack out. And that stack will go into this hopper that leads into, I can't click on it from here, but a compressor. And when there are items in the compressor, this gate will send a redstone signal into this block and into this filter that will pull those items out, mark them green, and put the blocks of iron in that chest. Now the reason for the hopper is I wasn't sure if it would only pull one stack. It might have pulled more. It seems to only pull one at a time though, so that's fine. But also 63 ingots will make 7 blocks of iron. And that leaves one more ingot in the system. If it were just the compressor there, the next time a stack of iron went in, one of the ingots would just pop out and go flying somewhere. So that's no good. So just to test this out, I'm gonna try and make it think this chest is full. I'm actually not sure this will work, but oh, there it goes. Yeah. Saw the chest was full. I can't sort an ender chest. So it pulled a stack out, and if we go around back, it should be compressing those into iron blocks as we speak. Of course the hopper is empty because they're all in the compressor. Saw one go by already, but here as it compresses the next one, we'll see it will recognize that there's an item in the compressor, send a signal. The filter will pull that iron block out, mark it green, and into the chest it goes. Now I need a ceiling there. Now for the sorting machine, I'm going to grab a few items to put in it and show it off. I failed at that for many hours. I think the tutorial I had been looking at was either old or like from a previous version of Red Power, or I was just too dumb to figure it out properly. But I decided to abandon it completely and just do what made sense to me, and it seems to be working now. So I'm just going to grab a few things here. It would take quite a few sorting machines to sort everything, but I mainly just set it up to, it should hopefully sort most of the things that would get picked up by a quarry. So if I hook this up to a quarry somewhere, it should send everything home. Alright, the contents of chests might mess things up, but we would hook our quarry up to an ender chest. Here you can see some of the things that are sorted. They'll go off to their corresponding colors. And anything that doesn't get sorted gets labeled brown and sent to the next sorting machine, which will do the same thing until eventually just the things in barrels will be left. So in goes all this, and you can see it churning away, marking things their appropriate colors. In case you didn't put anything that goes in that direction. And those will all go up to the pipes that have those colors. I forgot the diamonds. Never forget the diamonds. If we go up here, we should be able to see that everything went where it was supposed to. There's the wood. In case we hit a mine shaft, I have no idea how much meat I had. And look at that diamond. Perfect timing. And speaking of quarries, I had one running here in the Twilight Forest, but now the corner it was at has an odd square hole where the quarry used to be. And if I check my map here, you can see the big area I've been quarrying, and at 3 of the corners are similar square partial holes. Each of those used to have a quarry, which disappeared, along with everything else I had put in that chunk. So that's great. Hopefully it won't do the same thing in the overworld. Alright, so I mentioned I was going to put in a few more mob farms. One of them had some strange glitches though with the red power wiring. It wasn't updating properly, so I went up to see what the problem was. I flew up to the top of the tower. I manually toggled the toggle latch by myself, and the output turned on and off just fine. The wire's updated. But if I used the button and the arcane ear flipped the toggle latch, the wires connected to it would not change from a powered to an unpowered state. So I switched some alloy wires with bundled cable, and for whatever reason that fixed it. So let's go ahead and check these guys out. I really like, by the way, how item frames look with the light behind them. It sort of tints them the appropriate color. And oh, the wither skeletons. I know that blazes normally only drop blaze rods when killed by a player, but they always drop them if it's a blaze from a soul shard spawner. So I thought that might be the case with their skulls, wither skulls. Turns out it is not. And I would have liked to test it beforehand, but there's a problem where if you make a spawner for wither skeletons, it will work just fine, but when you break the cage, and I better sleep. When you break the cage, you get the cage back. That scared me. But you don't get a wither skeleton soul shard back, you get a regular skeleton one. So, and there's a wisp outside. So yeah, I wasn't able to test it beforehand, I just sort of went with it. Hoped for the best. He went the other way. And as you can see, it is humming along. Eventually I'll put an ender chest here so the coal and gold get sorted automatically. And then I'll put in a void pipe so the meat and bones can just go away. I don't need them. Over here we've got our witches and endermen. So we'll get some pearls, plenty of redstone, plenty of glowstone, gunpowder, so the creeper spawner is kind of pointless now. And more sticks than you can shake a stick at. I don't know. I'm just throwing them in the generator for now. And I think that'll be it for this episode. Next time I'll go somewhere else, work on something else. This place is starting to get a little redundant. Lots of gray. But I think it worked out alright. So I should maybe turn this off because I'm starting to lag a bit. What was that, guy? Anyway, yeah, I guess, oh dear. Yeah, I better cut it off. Doesn't like me recording with those running. So as always, thanks for watching. I'll see you next episode. Ciao.